What is up, YouTube? And welcome to Behind the Wall, presented by Perky Jerky. I am Thermite917, and as always, I am with Junior Nation 5788 and Kane Jr. 88. Man, this week was Talladega. It was a very wild one, as we'd come to expect, maybe even more than usual. I'm not even going to try to explain it, so I'll send it right over to Tyler. Tyler, what happened?
Well, thank you, Nick. The Alabama 500 has concluded. It took 3 hours, 47 minutes, and 52 seconds, like 4 red flags, a shitload of crashes and cautions, and good God, it left with the end of the day only 12 cars finishing on the lead lap and 14 running. Brad Keselowski won the race. Right behind him was Ryan Newman, Trevor Bayne, Joey Logano, and Eric Almirola. Hell, I'll just read the entire finishers because it's that easy. Denny Hamlin, Dale Jr., Casey Kane, Greg Gaulding, David Reagan round out the top 10. Ty Dillon, Paul Menard, Kyle Larson, and Matt Kenseth were the rest of the finishers. Absolutely wild race, but it certainly did not begin off like that. It was basically your kind of standard race, solid, but all of a sudden, a disaster strikes, and Jimmy McMurray decides he's going to change a couple of lanes, causes a crash, takes himself out. Jeffrey Earnhardt, Eric Jones, poor old Mike Thompson, you know, he was definitely ready to make his move. So after that, Paul Menard ruined the end of stage one. They actually had a one-lap shootout for the first time, like, maybe all season, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But the stupid yellow, NASCAR's inconsistency there, just got up and slapped the wall, which is funny because there wasn't a yellow when Justin Marks hit the wall early in the race, pretty significantly. But hey, NBCSN didn't want to talk about it, and neither did NASCAR, obviously. But that was the end of stage one. Stage two starts, and there was only one thing to happen. It was a simple debris caution, and it was just something in the middle of the groove that kind of took all the strategy away. Really, everybody pitted. They finished the stage, simple as you like. Then it got stage three. There was a choo-choo. As you see in every Talladega race, there is always, at one point, a choo-choo. So I'm glad we got to see that. And pretty much after that, shit hit the fan. I'm not going to explain it. Crash, 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 big one, crash, and Dale Jr. missed them all. That was pretty much it. We'll get into that a little more later, but man, that's pretty much what happened. You know, like I said, there was only 14 cars to finish, 12 on the lead lap. It was the smallest pack of cars. It was so sad. It was, I don't even know. It was like watching a kids go-kart race out there. There was so few people left at the end. Yeah, I guess it's a standard Talladega race. Just for a quick refresher before we get into race ratings, Brad Keselowski won the first stage, Ryan Blaney won the second stage, and as I already said, Brad Keselowski won the race. So, race ratings. Let's get right into them. Kane, you haven't talked yet, so why don't you give us your race rating first?
Well, I must say, this was one of the best Talladega races I've ever seen. I mean, it would have been better if Dale Jr. had won, but I'm not mad that Keselowski won either. I mean, he's really come into his own as a restrictor plate racer, and obviously there was a lot of action throughout the race, a lot of carnage late, but you know what? That's kind of expected at Talladega. So I'm going to give this race an 8.5. I was very impressed. Obviously, NASCAR made a great move putting Talladega in the middle of the round in 12 instead of being the elimination race, because now guys are actually going for it instead of just riding around in the back trying to avoid all the trouble like they were last year. All right, Thermite, what's your rating?
Yeah, I'll agree and give it an 8.5 as well. I agree with all the points you said. It was it was a typical Talladega race. I mean, nothing was necessarily like the best thing in the world, but it wasn't controversial. So a typical Dega race is usually better than any other race in the season, I would say. So that's why I'm going with an 8.5. I really don't have anything else to add. Tyler?
Well, I'm not 100% sure in this, so don't quote me, but I believe I'm going to make it the first time that we've ever had the same rating, 8.5. I will agree with you. So 8.5 completely across the board. It was a tense race. The nerves were there, certainly. I think in part it kind of plays the Dale Jr. factor a little bit for myself, but still it was tense. It was exciting. You didn't quite know what was going to happen. I also felt like it wasn't really a dominated race. Joey Logano led for 59 laps at one point, and that was actually the most laps led. You know, it looked like it was going to be tough to get by him, but once everything started kind of getting crazy, you just didn't really know who was going to win. Obviously, there was 12 cars on the lead lap at the end, and people like Trevor Bayne, Eric Almirola, Casey Kane, Greg Galding, for Christ's sake, was in the thick of it. It's ridiculous, and it's just, in a way, it's your standard Talladega fair. I'm fine with it. At least it wasn't decided by something completely stupid. So that's kind of what we take away. I'll be content with this race. Moving on. Well, it wasn't a very exciting week as far as NASCAR news goes, so we don't have a specific topic to talk about. And that's alright. So we're just going to go ahead and move on to one of our favorite things. And the trucks raced in Talladega this weekend, so you know damn well what that means. Where did Cody Coughlin finish? Oh, old Swamp Donkey finished in 25th after getting involved in a crash late in the going. He started in 18th. He actually led 9 laps. Oh my God, he was in the front. Can you believe it, guys?
No! No! It's a miracle! It almost was if he had won.
But it was still a miracle to see him lead laps, so let's see what he had to say. I had a lot of fun running up front and leading laps. Unfortunately, we didn't make it to the end to get the finish we deserved. I think we had a shot at the win. It was a big hit, but thankfully the good Lord kept me safe and I'm okay. We'll head to Martinsville and try to get after it there. Well, I do agree with you. I felt like you did have a shot to win, and I thought you drove good out there, actually. You showed a little bit of aggression. You weren't a total cake, and I appreciate that. So for once this year, I'm not shitting on your driving. I think you did pretty good, Cody. We're proud of you. But let's talk about Martinsville for a second. You're gonna get your dick kicked in. Jags!
Jags!
Oh, Cody. Hey, you're still 13th in points.
Hey.
Yeah. That's it.
We're done.
Alright, now it's time to hand out some awards for the Talladega race weekend, and we got a boner. We got a couple boners, actually. So, Nick, lead us off. Who is the first boner of the week?
Well, this week, it's the Mick Boner of the week, and that goes to McMurray, the Mick Weapon.
Trouble off of turn 4. One car gets spin.
That was the absolute stupidest thing he's ever done. Holy jeez, what an idiot.
Oh man, old Jamie killed me in fantasy by trying to pit from the racing line because he expected everyone else to follow him. Well, he was sadly mistaken because he got run over and went right into the path of Jeffrey Earnhardt. Thankfully, everyone was okay, but old Jamie, he's had his plate track issues, that's for sure. We have another boner, Kane.
That's right, and that one goes to Jimmy Johnson, who pretty much made the same move as Jamie McMurray. He pretty much almost got spun out trying to come to pit road. He was hit really hard in the right rear by Ty Dillon coming to pit road. And then later, after he was involved in the big one, the huge big one, the one that took out 17 cars, during the red flag, he told his crew to work on the car. I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure the rule is you cannot work on your car underneath the red flag, and as a result, he got in some pretty hot water with NASCAR as a result of that. So, Jimmy, what were you thinking, man? That's not how a 7-time champion should be doing stuff. Come on! And also, an honorable mention to that one restart crash, the one that took out A.J. Allmendinger and Cole Witt and Eric Almirola. Clint Boyer, that's right. I don't know what the hell that was about, but obviously, somebody forgot to restart the race. Next award, please.
Next award is Retirement Home? Question mark. And that goes to Mark Thompson. Who? Yeah, you know, that guy that always runs plate tracks and ARCA races and crashes out of every one. The old guy. He made his, apparently, second cup start in like 25 years. I didn't even bother to look it up. I really don't care. I don't know why, but he all of a sudden was in the Premium Motorsports number 15 car this weekend. And it went as well as you could have thought it could. He was slow, he got lapped, and when Jamie McMurray pulled his little maneuver coming on the pit road, he was way behind those guys, but he sped up. He hit the gas like, oh, hell yeah, I'm gonna make it through this wreck. Fuck! Marky Mark. It's time for a retirement home, buddy. Pull up a chair and get a catheter if you don't already have one. Next award.
All right, our next award is the
Straight Jacket Award!
And that goes to NASCAR because they had the bright idea to add a new safety enhancement in the truck series that was to put these flaps, kind of like roof flaps, on the truck bed to help put the trucks back on the ground in case they got backwards. Well, first of all, I thought they already had that kind of thing where the whole bed would come up to kind of spoil the air. But these little things just were a nuisance out there. They would come up constantly with all the air movement, and sometimes if it wasn't a certain angle, it would slow the trucks down, and it was just annoying. And it probably would have created more safety problems if that thing broke off and then got backwards. I don't really know what technology or wind tunnel they used to see how that would work, but they got to go back to the drawing board. And we have one more Straight Jacket Award, Kane.
That's right, we got another Straight Jacket Award for Talladega Super Speedway. Why?
Because you must be freaking crazy!
That's right, Talladega. As always, once again, you were freaking crazy. Why? Well, let's see. Hard racing? Well, that's obviously come to play at Talladega, especially now that you're not an elimination race anymore. And, of course, the game of survival in the final stage when all the racers were getting taken out in the big wrecks. I mean, hell, everybody, the guys who finished at the front, they played the game perfectly. Brad Keselowski, Ryan Newman. Trevor Bayne was involved in like 2 different wrecks and he still finished 3rd. I mean, come on, Talladega, you haven't changed one bit. You're still freaking crazy. All right, next award.
The next award is Crushed M&M's, and that goes to Kyle Busch. Man, he got the shit kicked out of him in that big old wreck with whatever 17 cars. His damn wheel flew off. He got hit hard at least twice, not to mention going into the wall driver's side. Man, it's been a rough 2 weeks for Kyle. I'm not saying I feel bad for him, but I don't want to see him get killed either. Jesus Christ. It's been a rough ride for him. And he's going to have a rough ride going into Kansas, that's for sure, because he's outside the playoffs. Yeah, good luck with that, Kyle. Next award.
Next award is Ford Motor Crunch Quick Pain, and that goes to Ryan Blaney, who kind of helped cause the second big crash where he did the same thing as Truex and snuck on the outside of Joey Logano. Well, Logano actually saw it coming, unlike the first big wreck, and he kind of overcompensated and moved down into Trevor Bayne, and they got together, and those two spun out, and Blaney, you thought he might be okay, but then here comes Brendan Gaughan and Kevin Harvick to end his day, and their own. So that sucks for those guys. I don't know where Blaney is in the playoffs, but it can't be looking too good. He's good at Kansas, though, so we'll see what happens. And we have one more award describing the crashes. Take it away.
That's right, it's all clear, and it goes to Daniel Suarez for the 3rd big crash. Chase Elliott made a really ballsy move late in the race to take Daniel Suarez and Kyle Larson 3 wide going into turn number 3. Suarez thought he was still ahead of Chase. He came down to block him and, oops, got himself spun out. He spun off of Chase's front bumper into Larson, who shot Suarez back up into Chase and sent all 3 cars hard into the wall. The crash also took out Chris Buescher, Casey Kane, and I don't know who else, but I know those 2 were also involved, and it effectively ended the race for every single one of them. Well, actually, except for Kane. Kane managed to continue on and finish 8th, but still, Suarez, Larson, Elliott, and Buescher were all finished after that one. Next award.
Oh, yes. It is time for the Cigar Awards, and we have a few for the Truck Series. The first one goes to Parker Kligerman, who got his 2nd career Truck Series win. This time it was in the 75. I don't even remember what the team was, but it's that Food Country sponsored truck, and he had
Henderson
tied on the hood.
Motorsports.
Thank you,
Henderson
Kane.
Motorsports. Yep.
Thank you, Kane.
Thank you, Kane.
All right, he was so aggressive out there doing a ton of bump drafting. We thought he was going to wreck the field a couple times, but hey, he did what he had to do. He got it done, and that's great to see. Planted that flag in the infield yet again. Then our next cigar is John Hunter Nemechek, who was in an early wreck. He came home 6th in a truck that was all beat to hell. Then Vinnie Miller, who the hell is that? I don't know. He got 7th. I didn't even see his truck the whole race. Then Clay Greenfield, he finished 8th after being in the John Hunter Nemechek wreck. So it was just crazy out there. And then we got to give an honorary cigar for the first time ever to old Jegs himself, Cody Coughlin, for leading those laps and actually looking like a threat out there for once. So way to do that. Good stuff out there, Cody. Too bad you got caught up in the wreck. But man, he's going to be a champion one day. I can feel it.
Jags! Jags!
Jags again! And then our final cigar. Who does that go to?
The final cigar goes to Dale Earnhardt Jr. for his final ride at Talladega. He had a hell of a race out there. Good and bad ways, honestly. He won the pole, so that was pretty cool. Something to celebrate, because there hasn't been a lot of that this year. He led a handful of laps, kind of got, snookered at the start by old damn Logano, but he ran a pretty weird race. He got caught out in that McMurray crash deal because they were coming to pit road, and the damn light turned red, and, you can't just bail on it, so he got penalized there, went to the damn back, worked his way back up through the damn pack again. The second stage, he was speeding on pit road and lost track position again. Just a complete up and down day, and then obviously he worked his way back to the front again, then got shuffled again, and then all the fucking wrecks started happening, and he had 3 major misses. I mean, by inches. The big one with 17 cars, he did technically spin out, but man, he was right in the middle of it, and to get out of there virtually unscathed was incredible. The last wreck of the day with Suarez and Chase Elliott was the worst one. It didn't look that bad, but it apparently was enough to knock the splitter down, and that hampered his last restart. Couldn't get any momentum, got blocked like a sumbitch, and just lost all hope at what looked like could have been a victory. But hell of a race, hell of a final way to go out at Talladega, and 7th place, not that bad. One of his 6 top 10s this year, so take a little bit of pride in that. Good job, Dale. Son of a bitch, I said I wasn't going to get emotional.
And the best part, me and Tyler were both along for the ride on that one because our names were one of the 54,000 on Junior's car.
You said it, Kane.
Yep.
We were there. We were riding with him. We were Jesus.
Yep.
But we're going to save our tears because we actually have a crying towel. And Kane, who gets the crying towel this week?
Oh my god! I never thought I would say this, but the crying towel goes to Clint Boyer! Oh my god! After getting caught up in that weird restart wreck, he goes and parks the car in his pit stall, and while the crew's fixing it, he gets out and starts yelling at Mike Bugger Ravage!
Behind a couple of cars spinning down onto the apron.
There's a big wreck behind you. How in the did we end up in the back? Stupid! We tore up a lot of other throughout the year too, but I ain't taking no. Oh, these guys don't want to hear it either. Let's work on this. Got a word all year. I ain't taking no either.
Don't put your head under there!
I mean, what the hell is wrong with you, Clint? Oh my god! I don't want your career at Storehouse to end after just one season! Oh no! Oh, that would be so bad. You take over for Tony Stewart, and this is what it's come to. You missed the playoffs, and oh my god, Clint! What were you thinking? Oh my god, this is worse than when Jeff Gordon wrecked you in Phoenix 5 years ago! Oh my god! Well, I don't know if it's as bad as that. You weren't as mad today as you were back then, but still, Clint, you can't yell at your crew and your crew chief. Hell, it'd be even worse if you were yelling at Tony, too.
He'd kick your fat ass off the road.
Yes, he would. He did it to Joey. He almost did it to Truex. He could do it to you, too. Oh, my God, Clint.
Clint, you big crybaby. Keep it in the holler. Or keep it in your pants. Either one.
I guess he's having it with 5-hour energy withdrawal syndrome.
Clint! Yep. By the way, it's been 5 years since you won a race, pussy! Sorry, Clint, but you just can't do that, damn it. Take it out with Booga in the fucking holler. If you guys want to have a wrestling match or a pissing fight, or you take out your dicks and size them up, I don't care what you do. Just don't do it on pit road. Come on.
Bug.
Booga.
I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. I thought it was like Booger Ravitch, or Booger in a ditch or something. I don't know. My Booger ditch. What? That does it for the awards. We shall move on. And as always, it's time to take a look at the best paint schemes of the week, so enjoy the montage. Whoa, look at that! Wait, where's the sexual green?
Where the fuck is it?
Why is it not there? Oh, that's right, the names are on the card this weekend and they ruined our sexual green! Those bastards!
God damn it, Mountain Dew!
Son of a bitch!
3, 2, 1.
Fuck yes! And it's time to recap the fantasy for Talladega, and DeMonte comes out and kicks everyone's ass, gets the fantasy win by picking Brad Keselowski, who had a near perfect day. He got 59 points. I come home in second after picking Dale Jr., who got me 30 points, and Dale finished in 7th. Kane, he got 18 points after picking Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who unfortunately got caught up in a wreck. And old Thermite with his gamble. Way to gamble with your points lead there, man. Pick Mick Weapon, and Mick Weapon got him 1 point. That's awesome, Nick. And the points are crazy now. You gambled your lead, and you fucked it up. DeMonte has surged to the lead with 1,250 points. Nick, you are in second, 44 behind. I am 47 behind, and Kane is buried now, 92 points behind. So Talladega has certainly messed up the standings and has gotten things crazy for the final 5 weeks of the season. All right, Nick, so you finished last, and you're going to have to go first for Kansas, so who are you taking?
Martin Truex Jr.
Surprise, motherfucker.
You'd have to be an idiot not to. I mean, it's a mile and a half, and it's Martin Truex Jr. What else can you say? I'm done.
Very good. Kane, who is your selection for Kansas?
Kyle Busch.
Paging Dr. Faggot.
I mean, he's finished top 5 in the last however many Kansas races, including his win last year. So like Thermite said, you gotta be an idiot not to go with him, and besides, knowing he's outside looking in, he's going to be racing his ass off. Tyler, who's your pick?
Kyle Larson.
I tell you what, you can take a good look at a butcher's ass by sticking your head up there. But what?
Well, I felt like the best 2 picks were taken for a mile and a half, so I'll go with one that is a good pick. I think he could really put in some stage points. They're still quick. They're one of my favorites for the championship, and it's just obvious. They've won how many times this year, so I think they can get it done. DeMonte, who's your pick?
Just Kevin Harvick! Driver up to number 4!
4! Well, that wraps up yet again another episode of Behind the Wall, presented by Perky Jerky. We appreciate you listening. So for DeMonte HD, he's a supporter of recreational habits. Wink, wink. For Kane Jr. 88, he rode with Jr., like we already mentioned. But he did. That was pretty cool. For Thermite 917, he didn't ride with Jr., but we all know he's a closet Junior fan, you know, he just doesn't want to admit it. But the guy that he does root for, he doesn't even know where he made his first career start and where he finished at. So
Dover, and he finished 6th!
No, he didn't. No, he didn't, all right? You didn't know that. You are ass. You are not a true fan. You're a bandwagoner, you General Dollar. Candy ass son of a bitch. That's probably why Matt Kenseth won't have a ride next year. Oh God. Poor Matt Kenseth. We do feel bad for him and his actual fans. and for myself, Junior Nation 5788, Talladega. Well, we'll miss you, Junior. Son of a bitch. Gonna get emotional.
Oh, not you again!
Not again.
Oh, get it. Get over it.
Oh, this has been Behind the Wall, presented by Perky Jerky. You've been behind the wall, and thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Mom, you gotta be quiet in there. I hope you recorded that.
I got it, and you know exactly where it's going.
Race 2 of the round of 12. As we all know, it was Dale Jr.'s last race. But for now, I will kick it up. God dang it! I blame you. I'm just gonna do the whole thing again. You guys suck.
You fucking suck, dude. I'm sitting here trying to be totally content and smooth. Like, I'm not even gonna make a comment. I'm just gonna let you get back into composure, and here you are going, you guys suck. You guys, I blame you. I blame you. Like, just stop putting the blame on everybody and fucking redo it.
Oh my god.
You shrimp scampi.
Yeah.
Jesus, how many names do you have for everything?
Everything I can think of.
He's
Whatever.
got a list of 500 names. He just goes down to the next one every time.
Yeah, I go through food items and just be like, all right, you're a fucking horseradish.
I am Thermite 917, along with, as always, Middleburg 1. As no, you messed with my head.
Fucking Nickel
Usually this is Tyler at the end, and now it's me at the beginning.
Way to go.
Oh god.
That's the race recap, man. So let's get right into race.
Want to tell everyone who won?
I told everybody who won at the fucking beginning of the thing.
What about the stages?
I didn't give a shit about the stages. Just for
All right,
a
race ratings.
God damn it, I'll get it. For Kansas. And who are you taking? Who the fuck is... What the... Is somebody pouring something?
No?
Is your controller right next to your dick or something? Are you pissing? What is this?
No. No.
I heard
I'm
something...
still in my room.
I heard a pouring...
My controller's battery was low, so I was hooking up my charger.
I was gonna...
There you go!
Or actually, no, not my controller, my headset.
Jesus! Spit it out!
Yeah.
It's the simplest thing. I'm telling you, it sounded like fucking pouring of water. It's like, hi, I'll have a glass.
Thought he was making bongos out of some tin cans or something.
Jesus.
But that's just me.
It's just you, obviously. It sounded like pouring water right in my ear hole. Anyways.
It actually did sound like it, now that you mention it.
Thank you, Kane.